if you were renting a new apartment, you wouldn't just um, hand over a massive stack of cash without like a lease or a security deposit.
Right. Oh, absolutely not. I mean, you'd want all the rules clearly spelled out in writing.
Exactly. Yet we step into the world of weddings, which is a single-day event that easily costs five figures, and suddenly people are sending thousands of dollars based on, just a good vibe and an Instagram page.
Yeah, it is wild how that happens, but the financial mechanics of a wedding are just completely different from how we buy almost anything else.
Right, which is exactly why we are doing this deep dive today. We're using your source guide, Understanding Vendor Deposits, to basically strip away all that financial mystery so you can protect your budget.
And avoid those truly costly surprises. Because you are effectively commissioning a massive one-off production, and the payment structures, well, they really reflect that unique risk.
Yeah, and speaking of managing that risk, if you're looking for a way to actually manage those finances and handle vendor selection, the Weddizer website is honestly the best place for that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, their articles section has incredible guidance for wedding events, pretty much tailored to any specific niche you might need.
Definitely. Weddizer is such a great tool for that. But going back to those vendor deposits, the numbers required just to say save the date are honestly staggering.
Oh, they really are. I mean, venues and wedding planners are usually demanding like 30 to 50% upfront,
Hmm.
and photographers, videographers, florists, they're asking for 20 to 40% right out of the gate.
Yeah, and it really comes down to opportunity costs. Like, think about a wedding photographer. They can only shoot one event per day.
Right. So once they book you, that date is just gone for anyone else.
Exactly. Once they reserve your date, they are actively turning down other income. So that upfront deposit covers that lost opportunity, plus, their initial prep costs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really compensation for taking that day off the market entirely.
Okay, so let's unpack this timeline a bit. If they're taking up to half the fee just to hold the date, couples definitely need a breather before the rest is due.
For sure. And the standard schedule usually gives you that gap. You pay the booking deposit, and then that second payment usually isn't due until, say, 3 to 6 months before the big day.
And then the final payment hits what, like 1 to 2 weeks out?
Usually, yeah. Though, I mean, if you're dealing with large venues or caterers, they often require that final balance a full 30 days before the event.
Wait, 30 days. Why so
Sure.
early?
Well, they just need that lead time to order, the specific amount of food and lock in their staffing numbers based on your final head count.
Okay, well, here's where my anxiety totally spikes. You're on that timeline, you pay the deposit, maybe even the second payment. What happens if you have an absolute emergency and just have to pull the plug less than 30 days out?
That is the nightmare scenario, right?
Yeah. Are you really on the hook for the full amount?
Well, you have to look at the tiered cancellation structure in most of these contracts.
Mm.
If you cancel more than 6 months out, they have time to rebook, so you might get a partial refund.
Okay, but what if it's under 30 days?
Under 30 days, they have almost zero chance of replacing that income. So the standard contract usually dictates no refund, and you are actually legally required to pay the remaining balance.
Wow. That makes a watertight contract absolutely crucial. You literally cannot rely on a handshake or like a quick peer-to-peer money transfer.
No, definitely not. You should always use secure, tracked payments like credit cards.
Exactly, because if a vendor just ghosts you after taking your deposit, a credit card company can initiate a chargeback to recover your funds. But with a Cash App, I mean, that money is just gone.
It's totally gone. And you also really want to look into wedding insurance to cover those worst-case scenarios we talked about.
Like changing your mind.
No, not simply changing your mind. I mean coverage for extreme situations, like a sudden severe illness or extreme weather completely shutting down the venue.
Right, that makes sense. And you also need to look at what happens if they flake on you. Does the contract legally force them to find a backup photographer of equal quality? Or do they just text you an apology, return your deposit, and leave you stranded a week before the wedding?
That is such a vital point. And really, pinning down these financial boundaries isn't just about managing your spreadsheet.
No, it removes the underlying anxiety of unexpected fees, which, again, tools like the Weddizer articles can really help you navigate.
Exactly, because when you know exactly where your money is going and what the worst case scenario looks like on paper, you can actually relax and just enjoy the planning process.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, I want you to look really closely at the balance of risk in these contracts. Think back to our apartment lease analogy.
Right, the security deposit.
Oh, yeah. If you break your lease or cancel your wedding 30 days out, you stand to lose everything. But if the vendor cancels, they often just have to hand your money back or find a replacement. They don't lose anything extra. So as you sign those agreements, ask yourself, who is really carrying the financial risk of your big day?